Hello guys and welcome back to the BWN podcast. As you probably noticed today, we've got a slightly different setup going on, or you'll figure it out pretty soon. We're not on the phones or the DJIs anymore. We've now fully transitioned to the university's kit, or at least we're trial running the camera system in this particular episode. But yes, we have 3 cameras here, 3 Panasonic ones kind of dotted around. We've got one for the wide, and then we've got one for myself and one for my guest. Yeah, we're just going to go right into it with a brief monologue, but we're going to try and get to our guests as soon as physically possible. But first of all, as always, how are you all feeling, guys, today? It's a very windy storm right now in the area of the northeast right now today. Sort of a week ago when this is being recorded. It's pretty appealing. My guest was even worried about getting in at the time. But no, we've figured it out. We're here. We're sorted. And yes, we've got a great episode ahead of us when we're going to be talking about directing and what that means to us essentially. There's sort of young people who've grown up with very much modern film and how we're going to kind of bring our own styles forward to the future. So really, what's kind of come out? What's kind of come out in the last week or so? By the time you're seeing this, The Brutalist, The Presence, and Flight Risk came out on the 24th when we're recording this. But today we have Companion. What else? Hard Truths. And also Saturday Night has also come out today. I believe Jason Reitman's new film that's out today. So that's kind of a nice sort of 3-film package to finish out January. But no, we're going to be talking about a load of different films today to kind of kick off the episode. It kind of ties in with our discussion really. The stuff that's been coming out ever since the 8th, between the 8th and the 17th of January. Those are what we're most certainly going to cover today. But yeah, without further ado, if you have any more topics you'd like us to discuss on the pod, let us know in the comments down below. But otherwise, I think we just get right into it. So, let's begin our discussion with Mr. Alex Palmer. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm scared, man. I don't think I can talk that fast. That was crazy. That's like a bullet train. This is crazy right now. I'm sweating. Guys, this is terrifying. I'm actually sweating. But let me just say it's a lovely windy day. And I like the colour of the walls. I like this green. It's the same colour as Matthew's eyes, and I'm going to be staring into his eyes.
Just to caption
Matthew's avoiding eye contact with me, but I'm staring at him.
When bro tries to chat up in the bar. A nice walls.
This is the worst first date ever. No candles anywhere. Nobody's asked. I don't know where our waiter is. Nobody's asked me what I want to drink. This is really weird.
Right. Nice way into the discussion then. We'll get into it as time goes on. But first of all, we can talk about what's coming out at the minute, because I know you probably won't say much of it, but
no.
We're going to at least talk about it because you're probably aware of all these things. So the first 2 that I covered on these episodes before the sort of roster I'm going to talk about today is, of course, We Live in Time. Have you heard of that one?
I have, with Florence and Andrew.
Mm-hmm.
I call them by the first names because they're my guys, you know.
Yeah, they are. They're definitely saying that way when I was watching it. It was great. It was really, really good.
I know them.
Do you?
No. Keep going. This is making me want to lie. This is so scary. Keep going, mate.
Okay, we'll move on from that one then. I know you've got...
Wait. Actually, is that meant to be good? Because the consensus is very split about that.
Oh, I love it.
Some people are saying it's kind of like a bit cheap. You know what I mean? In terms of the emotion. Or do you think it worked? Did it work for you?
Did it make me upset? Yes, so therefore it worked.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Anywho. Yeah, Nosferatu. I know you've got some thoughts about that.
Did you say anywho?
Yes, I did, Alex.
Guys, I thought Nosferatu, the original one was better, and I'm not really trying to be pretentious, but I literally did. I think the film answered its own question, because the whole point... I quite like Robert Eggers. I like The Lighthouse a lot. I used to be obsessed with that when I was a kid, but, like 14, whenever it came out. But
I know we're talking about it as if it was like 10 years ago.
Well, back in 2008 when The Lighthouse came out, I remember watching that in primary school. That had a big impression on me. No, I just think that the whole... it kind of answered its own question. Because he kind of was questioning why Murnau would have not made the film from the woman's point of view the whole time. And then you watch as the film struggles to have you keep up with the woman's point of view. Because she's having visions of things that we can't see.
Mm-hmm. Unlike everyone who thinks I'm an absolute classic film noob, I'm actually well aware with F.W. Murnau, actually.
Oh!
I have seen one and I very much enjoyed it.
Which one?
Because I studied it.
Which one?
Sunrise.
You like Sunrise?
I
like
do.
Sunrise as well.
I do. I really do.
I think
the church scene's so nice.
It's lovely. I think the only thing wrong with those films is they are quite boring. I don't think they got pacing. But like in terms of the elements that they're going through are really beautiful and they're very clever. But I think genuinely in terms of the pacing, they don't Maybe it's just because we're looking at it from what we expect now.
No, exactly, because I think pacing is absolute for what we would have considered before nowadays. What we would have considered good, the pacing is airtight in films. There's no mucking around anymore. So yeah, there's no room to breathe essentially now in films. There isn't. It's just down to the wire, which I'm not complaining about because it's what all I've known. So I like the kind of fast-paced nature of stuff.
Yeah. We know.
What do
he talks really fast? Keep going.
I mean, I say fast-paced nature. The biggest thing anyone's had to say about Older since it came out is how slow as fuck it is.
That was a great.
I was like,
don't start chatting about Older. That's one of the greatest films of our generation. Don't start with that.
I'll just come back to the same thing I always say. At least I made a feature. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So anybody that's saying stuff, you haven't made a film.
Yeah, and more to come actually.
Don't tell me Older 2's on the way. Tell me Older 2's on the way right now. What is that face?
Yeah, we'll move on.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I just silenced the room. I thought it was good. I don't know. Yeah, Nosferatu's a bit mental. Right, guys.
So moving on. So we've got. So I think the New Year's Day releases, that was them too. But moving on. About a week later, so Wednesday the 8th, we had A Real Pain come out. That's Jesse Eisenberg's new film.
Oh, with Kieran Culkin.
I thought he was phenomenal in it. Kieran Culkin. Yeah,
I love Kieran Culkin. I love Succession. It's like my favourite show. So
I don't think I've seen him in anything before. I don't think I've.
Well, you not seen Home Alone?
I thought he had a different name.
He's in Home Alone. No.
I thought
and that's Macaulay Culkin is the main guy. It's his brother. But Kieran Culkin is the little black hair boy with the glasses.
Ah.
He's in the family. I don't know. I mean, I can't remember.
All right. Okay. Yeah. I knew he was probably a sibling because of the same surname, but like
no, they are.
Him specifically, I haven't seen him before.
Oh my god, he's great. Isn't he great?
Yeah, he's
so funny.
Very uncomfortable on screen. Like every time he opened his mouth, you're like, shut the fuck up.
Really?
I can't. Like it was so tense.
I want to watch that.
Yeah, because it's proper like Jesse Eisenberg was just me on that trip. It would be fully me.
What is it then? What do you mean?
It's basically it's a Holocaust trip of
I love those type of movies.
Right. Okay. Yeah. But no. So the when they go on that trip and they're just and he's just he has no filter. It's like if he just completely he speaks his mind. Like they take the part of the tour where they're on a train, for example, and they're in first class, and he starts speaking up against the tour guide because he's got a major issue with it. He's like saying, "Well, 100 years ago, if we were here, we would not be in first class right now. This feels like we're almost like completely. It's almost like we're almost rubbing it in."
Oh my god!
Because they're all Jews on this trip.
Yeah.
So it's like, and he just takes massive issue with it, and it's like, and basically it's just it's people just processing pain in different ways because it's very enlightening.
Real pain, okay.
Yeah, because it's that sort of thing. But Jesse Eisenberg and him are the cousins, and they're very different people. But I know it was a great script. He's actually, I believe, because the Oscar noms came out today at the time of recording. Yeah, A Real Pain has been nominated for Best Original Screenplay for Eisenberg.
Wow.
So potentially he might win that.
Is he a good director, you think, Jesse Eisenberg?
I don't know if he directed it. I think he did. He
he
definitely wrote it. He's definitely written it.
I think he did direct it because he made a previous film, didn't he, with Finn Wolfhard? And,
yeah, I think so. He's definitely written it though. He's definitely written it because it's been put in for that.
Did you think it was good though? Did it work?
Yes. Yeah, some people thought it was mid. I was like, I'm kind of on the same lines. I just thought it was good.
Okay.
I thought it was good. I didn't think it was incredible.
Compared to We Live in Time, let's do the little tier list right now.
Yeah, back to the old days. Yeah, I think I would say it goes roughly in order because I think visually Nosferatu was great. Like again, cinematography, what people have been saying.
Okay, you think Nosferatu's better than these two?
I just think it was I think it's a toss up between A Real Pain and Nosferatu. But I think We Live in Time's the best so far for me.
Oh, okay.
You get the 10th of Jan, and there's two of them. Baby Girl, what the fuck was that? I saw that last night. Nicole Kidman one.
What? Bad or
Harris Dickinson, Nicole Kidman. Have you not seen that?
I know what it is. I mean,
imagine. I think he's in his 20s, Harris Dickinson, right? Okay. Imagine 50 Shades of Grey with a 50-year-old woman.
Right.
That's what it was.
My type of movie.
That's what it was. I could not believe what the fuck I was seeing. There was three couples of girls in their 20s and me. And I'm convinced half the time they were laughing their heads off. I'm convinced half the time they were laughing to themselves throughout the entire movie. It's because I was sat there. Centre back row, and the other three couples are kind of like darted around the rest of the room.
Oh my god.
So I'm sat there, and every time something happens, I can just sense out the corner of my eye the two girls are on the right-hand side of the cinema just poking their head around to see my reaction. My head was in my hands for half the movie.
Were you uncomfortable? It really did something to you.
I hated it.
I just know there's that thing where somebody goes in the corner, isn't it? Isn't that a thing? Somebody gets put in the corner. go to Matthew's camera? It looks like Matthew's in the corner right now.
I just can't. It was awful.
Look, Matthew's in the
It was
corner, guys.
I almost
Awful, like you really thought it was a bad
thing
film.
is, I think I almost get kind of what it's trying to say though, but it just doesn't even. Hold
What do you think it was trying to say? Because I just know it's about an older woman.
Oh,
and
it's
a younger
about
man.
desire. That's what it's
Okay.
for. Well, you'd imagine, but it's like it like examines desire because it's kind of like half for the acting awards, well, the SAGs or whatever. I don't know what it is, but it's like maybe Critics' Choice, but it's doing on this lower level award season. It's doing the rounds. So it's played up that way.
Mhm.
It's very much like well, have
you seen May December?
I've heard of
Do
it.
you remember May December?
Is that Natalie
Natalie
Portman?
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
I was just wondering. I was just gonna ask you if it's a similar thing to that.
But no, that it's just insane. It's just insane. But again, I'd say the most notable release in my mind from the 10th, now having covered it, was Maria, and I absolutely love that.
Maria.
I saw that.
What is that? I don't even know what that is.
I saw that yesterday as well.
What's Maria?
Angelina Jolie's new film.
Wow, what is that about?
It's an opera singer.
I don't think
She plays an opera singer.
Oh no,
Definitely the best I've seen of Jolie ever, and
Okay.
and I would say I'd potentially make an argument for the best out of the ones we've talked about so far. I'd say it's the best one.
Maria. Okay, walk me through Maria. What happens in that?
It's the last week of this opera singer's life. Real story.
But
It's the last week of her
what do you
life.
mean it's the last week? Like she's gonna die? She's ill.
No, like it shows it's like a circular narrative.
Right.
So it starts at the death when the people are showing up to her apartment.
Okay.
But it starts there. So you're basically covering the last, and she's kind of just looking back on her life,
Mhm.
and she's taking meds, and it's like it's like a bad mix in her body, and that's what kills her. But she's just like it's in the last few days
she
of her life.
overdosed.
She's doing a lot of. No, it's the medication combined with her singing because she's trying to find her voice again. She hasn't performed in like 4.5
She
years.
died from singing.
Well, yeah, because she said like the strain of an opera singer on her voice, with what she was doing on top of the meds, like she was just but honestly, there was just some genuinely beautiful scenes, and
you like that?
the performance more than anything, the performance was fantastic.
Okay.
She did a really good job. She did a really, really good job.
What qualities did she show that made you think it was a fantastic performance?
There was just this. There's a very much like there was the sassiness. Definitely.
Okay.
She's just the proper posh accent. Just having the. I've seen this performance before, but it's where you've got the butler and they have the relationship with the butler.
Yeah.
And she's there's a thing from the trailer where it's the piano gets wheeled to a certain part of the room. She's like, "Is this okay, madame?" And just like, "No, it's wrong, but I'm nice, so leave it there."
Sounds like Nick.
But it's just really posh voice and just great. She just does a really good job.
Is she English?
Not
Angela, the character.
No. I think it's just got English acting because it's set in Paris, so I doubt she would have been.
What do you mean she has a posh voice though? You just it's just giving an air of like.
It's English. It's like
upper
proper.
class.
It's proper upper class accent, but I think it's set in France.
So they're meant to be.
Maybe in real life she was
characters.
French. Maybe in real life she was French. But like that's.
I should probably know who that is.
Yeah,
if it's French.
It's La Callis. That was her surname. Maria. That was her show. I think
Maria.
a performer name anyway. La Callis. Maria.
Le Callis. Is that two words? You're saying Le?
I think. Yeah, kind of.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, it was very good.
Okay.
Performance was very good.
So far, I've watched one of the films that we've talked about. Keep going.
17th. From the 17th, there are 3. So we've got 3 more to talk about. We had first of all, what was I going to say? There's Wolfman. I've literally just come out with that.
Wolfman.
I came out with that about 2 hours ago.
What is Wolfman?
It's more of Universal's, the horror films that they're bringing
Who's
back.
Wolfman this time then? You don't even know who the actor is.
No, Julia Garner's in it. Well, Julia Garner's the wife. She was alright.
Our producer just pulled up Maria Callas, but that doesn't really look like a French name to me. At least Italian or something. I appreciate that. Angelina Jolie left devastated over Oscar snub for Maria biopic as Hollywood is Team Brad Pitt. No, damn it.
Yeah, she got.
And so Brad is Wolfman because that's sweeping the awards ceremony. He disappears.
I don't think he's been even nominated for anything. Brad's not done anything.
How are they Team Brad Pitt?
Oh, I don't know. Anyway, but no, that was all right.
I'm Team Brad Pitt.
I've just come out of that.
I've always said that.
I didn't buy the relationship between the husband and wife like Garner and the husband. I didn't buy that, but it was all right. It was just your standard.
Oh, it's like
movie.
The Invisible Woman or whatever.
Yeah, well, they've been bringing back the classic things. Yeah,
whatever she's called.
So it was okay. It was all right. It was just you run in the mill
But it's like modern day retelling of Wolfman. But
your Universal B horror movies. It's just the same thing.
Sake.
It's the same thing.
Yuck.
It wasn't all that great. What I will say though, it was interesting to talk about because I did say this yesterday, and this was a really sweet one. Was Here, Robert Zemeckis' new film. With
I was interested about that because I kept seeing the trailers of that when I could be in the cinema recently.
It's so interesting. Like I've never seen a film like it. The way how it's just done in the same location.
Did it really? No. But this is a problem with these gimmick films. You're worried that that's all that they have to them. But did it work? Did it really work? Did you think it worked? Because I'm worried, man. Watching that trailer.
I think it kind of did. It just got a bit boring at times. Because what they did was, I thought they were just focusing on Robin Wright and Tom Hanks, then their life story. There weren't. There was multiple eras. So
right. I was gonna say that.
Do you know on the like the Lazy Boy, for example?
No.
Like the
is that a boat?
Like no, like the proper reclining chair where it goes back.
Oh, okay.
I think there is in Friends. Joey and Chandler had
yes.
them.
I
it
love
goes
Friends.
back to whatever era when that got first invented, and the husband who the inventor of the Lazy Boy lived in that house, and he's like, oh look, the investors are loving this one, and it's like different people who've lived in that house.
Okay.
And it just for at least the first half of the film, it keeps cutting back in between different people's lives.
Well, that's quite cool.
So but it lost me because it was just very disorientating. It's like I didn't really know what to focus on, and I also thought some stories were far more interesting than others. So I was like, no, let's go back to that.
Is there a thing? Because I remember watching the trailer. It's like prehistoric. You like see the Earth getting
in the beginning,
formed, yes. But is that just the opening sequence of the film?
After that, it only goes far back as about the Plains Indians. After it doesn't go any further back than that after the opening.
That's quite interesting.
After the opening, because the dinosaur thing isn't the opening. It's in the first 10-15 minutes.
Okay.
It actually starts in the future, so it starts pretty much at the end.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It starts at the end and finishes at the end. So
did you find it to be quite unforgiving, like quite conservative? Because if you think about the other Robert Zemeckis stuff, it's quite horrible to its main characters. He did do Castaway, didn't he? Am I mistaken?
Yeah, it's
he
like
did do Castaway.
He's it's very realistic, as in there is no.
Was it really heartbreaking?
No, it's just
Okay.
There's no real sort of. There's not a happy ending in every aspect of it. It's a nice ending. It's a nice ending, but it's not exactly what you expect.
It's
yes,
satisfying.
Yeah, it wraps up well, but it's really it's very honest, and I like that. It's editing as well as a it's maybe not a standout because I don't really know how to feel about the editing. One thing for sure it is a case study, like like editing in here. Like film study students could fully use that as a case study for editing. Okay. Because it's so interesting. Who edited it? I don't know, but what I would say is that if to describe it to you, I don't know if it's in the trailer, but there's like boxes that appear on screen. So let's.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, it's the boxes all the way through. All the way through.
Oh, I don't know how I feel about that.
All the way through, but it's how they do transitions. So let's say there's kids playing outside in like the 50s and there's like the 1900s.
Yeah.
The kids playing outside in the 50s would be like a box that shows up in the where the window is, and then the rest of the screen would fade to it, and then fill in the blank, and then the border would go away.
Okay.
So it would transition to different parts because you're in the same space. I suppose maybe you've got to do something different with it when the camera doesn't move.
Did you like that?
What?
Did you like the transitions?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know how to feel about it because I've never seen it before. Because I don't really want to pass judgment on something that I've never seen done previously. I don't know how to feel about it. I feel like maybe it'll age well. I don't know.
It feels very modern though. It feels like a bit YouTube-y or like
what,
a bit of
what I will say though is when you're seeing the gimmicky ones, I have the same fear as you where that's just all it's going to be.
Yeah.
But I also respect films like that because I like the gimmicky ones because it's just doing something different. It's quite experimental.
Okay.
That the idea of it just being stuck in the same position. I thought, you know what? He's had clearly a very long successful career, and he's been great friends with Tom Hanks for a very long time, right? He's just doing something different. Yeah. So I'm here for it.
It's quite strange to I don't know. I feel like it's a bit strange to experiment at the end of your career.
I mean,
although maybe that's not true at all if you look at like Megalopolis.
Yeah, I was literally just about to say Megalopolis.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
But there's so you get to the end, but no, it's and the camera does move at the end. But there's
they've ruined it now. I'm not going to watch it now.
no,
don't move the camera.
No, it's just your classic pan out sweep out from the from the well zoom out anyway.
What does it feel like when it does that? Does it feel quite liberating? Was it visceral? Because I'm thinking about.
Yeah, it does feel like you've been on like some kind of carnival ride for 2 hours and now
then
you're finally
getting out.
You're getting off, yeah. Because it doesn't.
That would be quite interesting.
Yeah, it is. But
that's interesting.
So yeah, there's that. The other two, So yeah, well, I've talked about Wolfman and that. So there's only one more, and I would say in terms of high-profile ones, I'd say the biggest high-profile one of the year so far.
Which?
A Complete Unknown is the last one.
Okay.
I liked it.
And I haven't seen that neither, but I like James Mangold.
The thing is, he's been nominated for Best Director for it. And I haven't seen enough of him to really pass judgment, but I don't think the direction, everything
It's
about
the thing that shines.
it's not the thing that shines through.
Mhm.
It's just a really decent biopic, and primarily, once again, it's Timmy C. Once again, it's him. I don't know much about Bob Dylan. I'm not really into that style of music. But when he's acting at the start, in the first act, it's just Timothy Chalamet just doing an impression.
But how much?
But then,
how much are you giving credit to Timothy and not the director who's formed the performance?
But the thing is, though, at the end, he changes.
Timothy.
The second half of the movie, there's a shift, and he really goes he's going full character acting, and you notice the shift. Because I'm just thinking, no, it's just Timothy Chalamet, but he goes from Timothy Chalamet to who he's meant to be playing by the end. So it makes complete sense. Like accent, everything. He just goes all in.
Do you find it hard to comment on the direction of a film because
yes,
it's not as because it's not as clear.
Which is very interesting
choice.
What we're talking about, because to me it's running off. The way I'm doing it is purely. My favourite part about doing anything directing based is purely down to performance and writing and capturing a story.
The vision, having a vision for
visually, I can understand why I have as many flaws as I do, because it's when you actually think about visual storytelling, that's not the part of directing that,
for you.
Not the part that I enjoy. I enjoy all of it, but it's not. It's the
most crucial part.
It's to me, it is really just it's like let's say it was an audio drama, it's line delivery. And it's a really, really specific part to talk about, but it's line delivery.
That's a very avid point about directing. I don't know. I mean, you have to. It's hard when you're asking me what a director is, you know. I can see all the questions lined up. How would you define the role of a director and filmmaker? Not to derail your whole thing.
No. It's a perfect conclusion. We're done.
This is very a crazy thing to ask somebody in second year who hasn't directed that much stuff, who's trying to tackle it himself.
Well, you did direct something.
We don't talk about that.
Do you want to talk about that for a bit?
We can if you want to. I don't really mind.
But week, very fun week.
I was gonna say that I don't know if the consensus is out on what a director is. I mean, I think it's just a vision, and I think a guiding voice can be an infinite amount of things. And sometimes in my position, I feel like I don't have as strong a vision as maybe other times, which is worrying.
Do you know what I thought the director's job was before I came here specifically?
Yes.
Do you know what I thought it was?
What?
I thought it was the director and cinematographer combined.
You thought?
I thought most things what a cinematographer does was the director's job.
But this is the thing. It isn't. Wait. It not isn't. It not is. But cut this bit out. No, because that's what I'm saying. Directing can be like 10 million different things. Because if you think about Kubrick, his influence that he had on his films was insanely visual. Because he grew up as a photographer. Yeah. I mean, that's a really strong auteur that thinks about only imagery. I'm not too familiar with other directors that per se necessarily don't think about their visuals. But you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, to me. But
you're not wrong. You're not wrong to say that director isn't about visuals. I don't know.
Whenever I'm on set, I get caught in. Well, you'll pick this up when we do Minecraft. That is like I'm kind of caught in three minds. When I'm saying about me confusion around directing and cinematography, you also have Chuck producing in there as well. My job on set, I blur the lines constantly. I'm like timekeeping, right? We need to get it done for this time. Yeah. There's the producer me coming out. I may say something about characters and story. That's very much director. And then I'm talking about, can we get a bit more light in here? Yeah, the director would say something like that, but and I edge on cinematography. So there's really, when you put all three together, just a melting pot. And I'm not saying I'm good at all three. I'm just saying there's elements of all three.
No, but you're right to say that it's a melting pot. I mean, I'm not sure if that's because we're students or if that's because...
It's also my platform, very much.
Yeah, I mean...
Like, what I do is very unconventional. Yeah. It's very unconventional. It's not industry. You'll never find more of a melting pot in the type of stuff that I do. It blurs the lines constantly.
You say that, though, but because of our dissertation film, Nick has told me and Rodrigo and Veronica, we should all direct, all produce, and all write. So I don't know if it's as clear cut as. It's a very hard thing to define. That's why I'd say it's just a director's just the vision, because you could say the director should be able to know everything about visual storytelling, like McKendrick or your Kubricks or whatever. But also, I think cinematography is really important, just to have somebody that's solely thinking about the imagery. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And not necessarily the vision. I don't know. It's difficult because do you want to hire a cinematographer that is going to take over the look of the film?
Because that's what we found.
Or they just carry out what you tell them.
Because that's what we found in animation. Because we found that like when Green Hill Zone. I finally can talk about 2025 stuff now, but Green Hill Zone, when that comes out, we found that an enormous amount of the visual drive of it. Our cinematographer for that is done so much work.
Was that Luke?
Yeah, done so much work on the visual elements of that short. And when our directors come in, it's very much the animation process when we're actually on set doing it. A lot of the pre-plan around visuals, the visual style of it was not him. It was Luke.
Was not your director.
It was Luke.
Was it Jacob who directed?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So it was.
That's interesting because Jacob has I think Jacob has pretty good impulses towards where to put a camera. But that's quite interesting.
Because most of the work was done, but it made me really realise that. Think, well, yeah, maybe cinematographer is a massive. I mean, maybe it's a case where it's each of their own. I mean, probably not in industry, but in our case, maybe it is a kind of each to your own kind of case where maybe there are just films that the way they're visually orientated is heavily reliant on the cinematographer, and the director has a different kind of role.
I don't think there's a one clear-cut answer.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just a vision. I think if you're somebody that knows what the film is, when nobody else knows what it is, when it's in your head and you can tell everybody what it is and communicate to other people what it is, even if on set you're only talking about 3 people, your AD and your cinematographer, maybe your producer's going to come in. It's just about having the vision and being able to say what the film is and isn't. That's why it is quite difficult to be like directing is only about performance, or directing is it's solely about what's in the camera. It's like a million different things.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I've with me personally, I find that the biggest thing when it comes to directing for me, it is performance, and it is. And I really like the visual style of it. I just don't know what I'm talking about. And what I mean is
hey,
that,
bro, I don't know what I'm talking about either. By the way,
I can frame a shot, and I can look at it, and I just think, do you know what it is? I think this is what I will defend myself on.
Mm-hmm.
I think I can do a nice shot.
What does that mean?
Do you know when someone says, "Oh, that's a nice shot"?
But what does that mean? It just aesthetically looks nice.
It's exact same as if you're looking at a painting. You don't see the shot that comes after, do you? I think I can do.
I see what you're trying to say.
Composition-wise, and just doing it, I think I can make films look nice.
As in, you can make images that don't work together, but they make sense.
Yeah, maybe not cinematography where it's like, lighting and beautiful and the lighting and everything, but just you take an iPhone, you drop me in the middle of.
So it's about the content of what's in the image.
You drop me in with an iPhone in the middle of a woods with no practical lights, and I can make it look half decent. It's not as if someone has never made a film before and you pass it to a 9-year-old.
Do you think that's about what you are filming or how you are filming it? Because
maybe both.
Okay, well, yes, but okay.
But it's because that's the thing that I'll defend on. It's like with the choices I was making with older, I get it now. The connectivity, most of it doesn't work. But in isolation, the ideas, definitely the effort was there. It was all I tried. Everything was there. I was. Like everything just from just the crap lighting of just the street lights and how fuzzy it was, but I'm just walking down on that diagonal down the street, like just when he was walking away from his house, like I framed them nice. It's just there's nothing.
That's why I can't really like. It's useless to judge stuff like that because we're all learning.
Yeah,
and the process. I don't know. It's useless to judge because it implies that we have some sort of right to judge.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Because I look at that older thing, I don't think it's particularly good, like in terms of what it came out to be. But I know what it's like to make something when, for you, for yourself, and at a point where you don't really know anything about anything. So for what it is, I totally understand the older thing.
Yeah.
Like I actually get that. I actually relate to what you were trying to do so much.
I was also hardly in the right state of mind when I made it, because that was like
pretty different mentally.
That was borderline rock bottom when I made that shit.
Well, that's what often makes you want to. just the stuff that you bottle, all that is like circling inside you. That is where the impulse comes to like express something, because it's all about expression. So that's why I don't have anything bad to say about that. It's just like personally. But if you look at it, it doesn't work. And what we made, the flippant Elijah thing, doesn't work either.
Yeah.
Because what you were talking about, and I don't think that's offensive to say.
Speaking of which, by the way, the church scene was far too fucking long. But
it's a fact.
My one, far too fucking long.
Oh, in older.
Yeah, because it's worth saying. Because for context for the audience, we've done a guerrilla filmmaker module at uni, and Elijah's the name of the short film that I was a part of, and Alex directed it. And we're location scouted St Paul's and Ripe, which was the same place that was shot at. That kind of climactic scene, whatever. But I
think it was interesting to see how we both, people that don't really know how to how to design coverage of a space. I think it was interesting to see how the coverage was different, because I remember watching that bit of your film to figure out what it just looked like.
The amount of fucking cutaways. Jesus Christ! I just walk in, and every time my eye moves to a different thing, I just cut to it. I was just sitting. None of it made any sense, but I think there's parts that are all right. And I think also as well, again, because I care about it so much when it comes to directing, I will massively criticise my performance in that film as well, because it was said early on when it came out.
It's natural to criticise your own.
No, because what I mean is, I just thought you just go to 110% all the way through the film, it equals masterpiece. Absolutely not. I'm crying in the first 25 minutes. It's not effective. If you held that till the last 10, it would would have.
That's a structure question, you know.
I just went but in performance, I just went right out the
game.
I went 110% in every single scene. There was no subtlety. Yeah, there was dire faces and everything, all that kind of stuff, but there was no, in the scenes that mattered, I went 110%.
It doesn't feel very filmic, your performance in that, does it? It feels
You're right.
Very theatrical.
You're right, it was.
But that's something listen, we've hardly been doing this for long. It's kind of insane that they expect us to make one good film in this whole thing, because you think the amount of stuff that's actually assigned to make, it's like 3-4 films. It's ridiculous, which is why we need to obviously make stuff by ourselves. But like the amount of stuff that we have to juggle, how are you meant to know what it is to be a filmic actor? You know what I mean? I think that's why you shouldn't, I don't think you do beat yourself up about it, but that's why I just think like the older thing, just like, yeah, and if people take the piss, it's like, whatever. You have to fail forward. I don't think comparing to anybody else's journey is useful.
I think the only reason why I'm a laughingstock to people is because I'm the only one who's actually put myself out there to fail.
That's what I'm talking about. You have to put yourself out, because I don't know, when you go up and show people a film that sucks, like our Elijah thing, it was the bits of it that worked because we had like people that helped us on the edit, and I understand. I'm gonna ask what worked and like whatever from lecturers, but that was kind of embarrassing, but I didn't, and I felt like our film didn't hold its own against the other ones. But I don't know if that's just me.
Mate, that response was considerably better than what I thought it was going to be.
Oh my god, well, me too, yeah.
That was considerably better.
Yeah, me too.
I was actually
very anxious.
I actually walked away quite better. Trust us, I walked away from that in a far better mood than I walked away from the one the other day.
From the documentary? Really?
No, but I'm gonna talk about that because again, this is usually where we've got no context for the audience.
Yeah.
The only reason why I will talk about it is because it is very relevant, because my one for documentary is one of this year's projects, which is Being Prepared, a Scout Story. The extended cut of that is a network release this year. As part of the production efforts with that, we've had a shortened cut of it around 10-11 minutes long be submitted for my documentary uni module with the team that's been worked on it, and at least myself and the camera operator for that are very much having the network credits carried over, so we it's us two primarily who are bringing that to life going forward. With that one, it got screened the other day, and it's just I don't know how I feel about it.
Were you embarrassed when you were showing it to people?
No, I just felt like I literally gave everything.
And you received nothing in terms
of the production process. Like, it's not just the quality of what we made. Like I could not have tried harder at that module. So it just sank like Titanic.
How did it sink? Do you think the finished film didn't work or the response?
I expected a slightly better response. To be fair, I think the students liked it better than the lecturers did.
Yeah, probably, yeah. That's probably fair.
I feel like you guys were a bit kinder to it. But I don't just mean like, as in like suck up. As in
I think we have a
nice.
problem with being a bit too kind though, but...
No, but I actually think you guys liked it more than lecturers did.
Yeah.
Because we grew up with this style where...
Also, we can't see what's wrong with stuff, can we? So...
Do you know? Again, with all this pessimism though, who's to say anything's wrong with it? I'm in a mindset now in life when I make something, right? I'm not trying to be Scorsese anymore. I'm just, if I make something, I get a few laughs out of people and they enjoy it. Get on with our life. Off the Five Guys with a lot of yous. I don't. That's all that matters to me now. I honestly.
To be fair, once you level that, once you say stuff like that, it's like, okay, because nobody's gonna. I think the reason that you get this, I don't know if it's pessimistic though, because what it is it's trying to be objective. You can be very subjective about the content of what you've made, but form things are objectively well structured and badly structured. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but I don't think you're necessarily wrong to say who's to say it's good or bad. If you aren't interested in making this type of form, that's okay. Because I swear you said that to Nick, for example, and he's just been like, okay, because it's not that deep, is it?
Yeah.
It's got to be a two-way street. I don't mind all of it. I don't think it's pessimistic. I love it. It's kind of like my world. I don't think it's necessarily pessimistic. I think people are telling me the truth, and I sometimes can't even see what's wrong with what I've made. But if you don't want to be in that world, you don't have to be in that world, man.
Honest to God.
You do not have to be in that world.
Honest to God, I think if I dropped everything and committed my life to being that director, right, and film, I try to master everything that's we've been taught. I honestly think one day, I do think I'd half get there. I do.
I think so too.
Right?
I think most people, if you really commit.
Except I don't have the time. None of us do. We only have so many years. And the way I see it is if I can do all these mediums I like to do, which is not necessarily your interest, but I'm doing all of it.
Yeah.
I can do all of this shit that I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as I put a smile on people's faces, I've done it. I'm happy to be the entertainer on the internet. I'm happy to be that guy. I'm more than happy to be. I've served my purpose. If the feature films that I do actually make are much better than older, but they come off like Marvel movies, so be it. I don't care. Yes, I might not master the art of visual storytelling. I might not. I'll try and improve based on what I've been taught every single day. But I'll never master it because there is no time. I'd have to drop everything to fully master what it is that's being done.
Yeah, it is a big ask. But like Matthew, you shouldn't beat yourself up about the fact that you don't want to be this one. It's a very specific thing.
It's a risk. It is a risk though, because I'm very much making a commitment here. It's like
so am I. I'm making a commitment too.
Because like in the last 18 months when I've said, nah, industry's out the window, I'm not interested. When I've said that, this is all very much, all this I've been saying, especially last week's episode, all this I've been saying is very much on the basis of, oh yeah, it's great, yeah, when it pulls off, yeah. That's what's on the basis of.
What do you mean when it pulls off?
When I'm saying all of this,
yeah,
about trying all these different meetings, being the entertainer on the internet and everything.
Yes,
it's like I've got an imagined future. All of this I'm saying, these choices I'm making are just binning off industry. It's all on the basis of
that it's going to work. It will one day work.
But this, and no, I've made my choice. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm here for. But it's like, it's very much on the basis of it's going to work. So I'm not really beating up myself about it, but it is very much a case of, no, I've got to put my money where my mouth is. And the part that scares me is not the effort, because I genuinely feel every day I live up to the effort.
You put an insane amount of effort into stuff, more than most people in university.
Thank you.
I think probably the number, because you're always doing stuff. No, but this is what's good about you, because I've always said you give people opportunities, even if you could question what it is that you want us to do. Which who cares? What do we know? But you're actually giving people opportunities to practice stuff. You know what I mean? But listen,
no, I appreciate that.
I'm making a commitment as well. You know what I mean? So you shouldn't feel alone, and everybody's making a big commitment. And even because I don't know if it'll work out for me either. I don't know if I'm naturally talented at this, or if I've just decided it's what I want to do. I might be better at writing. I don't know. I might be better at prose and literature. I don't know. Maybe visual storytelling isn't for me. I don't know. Maybe, I mean, in terms of I'm not good at it.
Yeah.
But I don't care because it's the only thing I want to do. Nick sat me and Rodrigo down because, you know, we're doing the dissertation together. He sat us down a while ago, and then he said, it's a really big, like if I'm paraphrasing it, it's a really big commitment what you're doing. And if there's anything else, walk away and do that.
Yeah.
Because if this isn't the thing you want to do, it's going to be very painful to suffer through all of this. You know what I mean? Because you're trying to do something that you don't really want to do. And he always says it's a lot easier if you actually like the films. You know what I mean? If you actually like obsessed with consuming all of these films, It's a lot easier. Which even me, I doubt everything though. I panic. I doubt everything. I don't know if this is even what I want to do. I mean, when I actually deep it, there's nothing else.
Are you aware of and it's a bit of a tangent example, but are you aware of challenges?
I love challenges. Yeah.
You really enjoyed it.
I like Luca. I don't know. I'm a bit weird about Luca now because I just watched Call Me by Your Name. I thought it was awful, but I like challenges.
Nah,
yeah.
forget that. Let's forget that Queer. Queer's the one that ruined it for me.
I haven't watched that, but I've heard that was really.
I thought that was pretty crap, to be honest.
I don't know. I kind of want to watch it because
I like Craig in it. I thought Craig was good, but
it seems quite divisive.
I'm always gonna like Craig in anything, but yeah.
But challenges. What were you saying?
It's just the sheer energy and kineticism about that movie. I absolutely adored it. Like that is, and I guarantee as well. You stick that in front of the old guard like Nick and anything. It's not gonna land well. But that's the kind of shit I want to make. I want to make people feel how I felt. And by the way, I'm not talking about the sex scenes, okay? I'm not talking about that. What I mean is, I want to make people feel the way I felt during that final fucking match at the end. Just on the edge of my seat when I had no idea which way it was going to go. That is, I want people to feel that. And I know, like we said, movie making in itself is a craft to hone, but I imagine a lot of that is very modern. Like I was going to say,
but do you want an uncomfortable truth? That is Luca Guadagnino at least knows some of what he's doing. He knows much more than all of us. That is a craft because he knows what the audience is thinking at every moment, and he knows how to play with that. So I don't think you should separate that from the old guard in this. What the real whatever won't like about it, maybe it doesn't do visual storytelling because no modern films do it, because it's not. It makes sense once you start getting into it why nobody does it, because it's very difficult and it's very odd. It's not taught. We're not taught to think in images or whatever. But that film isn't just a totally modern film. I don't think. I think it takes a lot in terms of what the actual story is. I think it's taken a lot. But that is if you seriously want to make stuff like that, that is a commitment.
I think if there's anything I think there's any part of what we've learned that I think I maybe might get a hold of at one point in time, I think it's making movies. I mean, that's what it is.
Making things for the audience.
As in, entertainment, on the edge of their seat, they are loving it.
That understand what the audience want to give them moments.
Not 100%, like almost like justified fan service. Giving the audience what they want. That I think I will get a hang of, because that's YouTube at the end of the day. Giving people what they want, I think I will 1,000% will do.
But
like
I'll tell
crowd
you what.
pleasers. Yeah.
I'll tell you what. That goes back further. That's not a modern idea. Giving people what they want. Well,
the modern way of doing it.
Actually, giving people what they need.
I'm talking about like the bloody 5-minute long take fight scenes, that visual storytelling.
I know what you mean now.
Like visual storytelling that's got absolutely no meaning to it whatsoever, but it's just kick ass.
Because people look,
it's an impressive feat because they've had it consistently rolling with decent composition for 5 minutes.
Do you think you know how to give the audience what they need, though?
That's what it is. I think what they want, yes. What they need, they also have to give them what they need. Because if you don't give them
it's not a film, it just sand. Because if it turns into sand, it just falls apart.
If you don't give them what they need, I think a lot of the times they don't even know what they want.
Yeah, there's no basis to have anything. Yeah, there's nothing.
So I think giving them what they need, that I can learn.
Listen, like for example, a good way of at this stage, I think, qualifying if a film has worked on people, for us, if in the screenings people ask loads of questions. Because do you remember when he showed us One Foot Out the Door in first year? And we all had loads to say about it.
That's a dissertation graduate one, by the way.
We all had loads to say about that. We slagged it off. That's because there was something there to talk about. You know what I mean? And we could impose our stupid judgment.
If you're going to do anything, don't make it boring.
Yeah, but this is the thing. When we went down and showed Elijah, nobody said... There was no questions because there's nothing.
I also think it's because we're soft and we don't want to upset each other though most of the time.
I don't know about that because people get into the right mindset in those screenings sometimes when they go.
What the other day, the gorilla one? No, we were just too nice to each other.
Maybe.
We got encouraged to slag each other off.
Yeah.
that's what, so our true selves kind of came out.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But that's what I mean. It's not. It's just. It cannot be personal. It's about the work. But that's what I mean. Do you remember when he was having to force people to ask questions?
Yeah.
Because there's nothing to talk about, man.
Do you want to say there's any on here that we can?
Yeah. I will just say quickly about that film though. There might have been things that worked about it that we don't even know how to talk about because Nick helped us and he edited parts of it. He helped us move stuff around. So there's bits of it that worked. That we don't even know how they work, that we don't know how to talk about. Which is Veronica was saying this to me, because all the things that we know how to talk about that film did not work at all.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why the response was like that.
Can
wow.
we score this down just a sec? Just because I just want to see some of these questions, see if there's any more sort of points we can talk about until this game. Yep. Okay. I know what I want to touch on. So there's two things so far. Yep. Okay. Okay. Cool. Right. Okay. Right. Okay. We've got 4 questions there, that I've picked out there. So okay. First of all, well, we'll kind of make this. We'll roll 2 of them together. So we'll do the first one. I want to talk about leadership qualities and particularly actors, because I know I've talked about that today. I think we have 2 slightly different approaches to it, because there was an infamous quote by Hitchcock who said, "You treat them like cattle." and I think and I think you again, we're young and inexperienced. It's not like you're fully adopting that and it makes you come off like a dickhead. I'm not saying that. What I mean is that you kind of half adopt that mentality where you feel it's from what I understand, you've just I think you've described it as almost like a resource like everything else, because I think you've very much been kind of chess piecey around making Elijah when you were.
But this is the thing. I don't know if I was right to say that, because you get into the mind, because we're not taught about performance, are we here? And I haven't personally got into performance that deeply, which is a massive blind. You want to be a director and you don't know anything about performance. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Anyway, but what I do find myself interested in right now is visual storytelling and dramatic construction. And I think you can, my point I was trying to make was, I think you can do a lot with just where the camera is in relation to a person and manipulating what their face is doing. Now, this is the scary thing, is if you really buy into the visual storytelling thing and you think that, imagine how a painter, everything in the image you've created. The problem with cameras is, like Bresson says, is you can use them to just, what's the word? Okay, what you're supposed to do with the camera is create. You're not just supposed to document, which is the scariest thing about a camera, is you can just, like, if I just put a camera here and all of this stuff is just here, that has nothing to do with me. I haven't created anything, I'm just capturing. So if you need to be in charge of everything that's part of the image, as if you've painted the image, why would you want a living, breathing soul in the image? Does that make sense?
No.
That is going to move around.
No, I get it. Is that almost like this? No dig at you, but is this like is it kind of like control freaky? Where it's like
maybe it is control freaky,
perfectionist, like that.
Maybe it is.
Where when the human imperfections come in, you lose it, and you're like,
but then
I've got to tell this person to stand here and act in this certain way. I don't like it.
That would be maybe I'd be more right to be more control freaky if I actually knew what I was doing. But then I think I'm winding back from that because the expectations were insanely high because we hadn't made anything properly.
Do you know what I would throw out to this discussion then? I'd argue that me and you in that way are the exact opposite then. Because where I think I'm weak with visuals, with what you're saying, I love working with actors.
Yeah.
Because it's an interesting point we're coming from, because both of us, as of now at least, I think even partially in your case, but technically, we're both currently directing dissertation films right now. At least planning for 3rd year here at uni. In my case, here's much I'll say, because I'm bringing this up because it's currently slated for one of our projects next year, when I said Studios is coming back next year. It's an ensemble piece, what I'm doing. Yeah. And I've told you what this is. Yeah. But we're being hush. We're being hush.
Spoil.
But it is an ensemble piece. And these performances are going to be bold and brash and really going for it. And maybe not over the top, like full on theatrical, but they're gonna stand out. Yeah. There's gonna be a wide variety of different voices in the picture there. I can't wait to take the proper, not as if like a human would never say this, but my dialogue's quite out there. It's not like it's not full on. It's like a hybrid. I don't like Shakespearean dialogue. Do you know, like the proper, like pompous. I don't like it. But also, I think some dialogue as well is like how people would actually talk in real life, and I find it very boring.
Sometimes it's not useful either, because the drama isn't the same as real life.
I think when you take, how I describe it is, it's like, what if you took, because I'm shit, we all are, so I'm not going to act like I'm some world-class writer, but you take a bit of me, you chuck Tarantino in there,
okay,
and you chuck Ritchie in there.
Okay.
Guy Ritchie.
Okay, I was going to say...
So you put Guy Ritchie and Tarantino and me in there.
Those are your influences, you think?
That's how the dialogue comes out.
Okay.
So it is quite... Like, Tarantino's is quite out there. A normal person would not talk the way Samuel L. Jackson does in the Hateful Eight.
Of course not.
He wouldn't. But you listen to it and you're like, that's
really
kick-ass.
Because he knows what he's doing.
That's what it is. And I can't wait to direct actors delivering those lines and just being really excited on set about them. Like, come on, give it some more energy. Come on. Like, that's... I just can't wait. But that's the part of the job that I love.
I'll say one of the... I'm not trying to knock it, by the way, because I love performance as well. It's just a difficulty between balancing the soul, a living.
Oh, yeah.
Because you don't
Yeah.
want to hamper your actors and performance.
Yeah.
It's the difficulty of balancing images that are saying things and a living, breathing person inside of that, where they feel like they're expressing everything that they want to too. But I will say, what were you just talking about there, by the way?
So energy reactors.
Oh, dialogue. One of the things that we learn with this is, I don't know why we treated dialogue like that. I don't know, because we gave them nothing. One of the problems was we never gave ourselves the opportunity to have, which is insane to say, our two actors working through the whole scenes in one go. Because I think we got overwhelmed by the fact that people were stressed and people were getting upset that we were taking this much time and we were going, we need to hurry up. And then it became really fragmented, which is not how you build it.
Mm-hmm.
Good performance at all. But dialogue, if you're building a bed of a conversation for an actor to map all of their, to work with, then they actually have something to work with. On this flipping Elijah thing, what the hell did they have to work with in terms of dialogue?
Yeah.
That's why it was quite... It wasn't wooden, and they especially Dylan did stuff with it that was all him. I don't think I had anything to do with that.
Mm-hmm.
Because what was in those words for them to work with?
Yeah,
very little.
I would say it's the again it's an opposite thing. Like I think again, I'm not saying I'm world class, but I think I kind of thrive on dialogue. Whereas when like that church scene in Older was far too fucking long, but you take half that scene out, you leave the best lines in. And then you age me up by a couple of years to where I am now and where I've improved. It's not bad.
The thing is, you just worry that you don't want it to be filmed theatre.
Yeah.
You don't want it to be filmed theatre because you can't have the dialogue driving the story. Your images and your actions are driving the story. Yeah. And dialogue has a very strange place in film if it's done right. It should be doing something very different to all the other elements because every element that you're using, your sound and your imagery, should be doing two different things. Mm-hmm. If everything is doing the same thing, if your character's talking about the same thing that you're seeing and it sounds the same, then that's boring. There's no dimension to any of it.
Yeah.
So it's very hard to write proper dialogue because it has to be a sprinkling on top of the action and the imagery. But David Mamet says, dialogue is there to show you what your character wants.
Yeah.
That was useful for me.
Mm-hmm.
And also studying films that you wouldn't necessarily go to if you're thinking about dialogue. I was just watching The Shining. I love Kubrick. I was watching The Shining, and I don't know why I never thought about it.
Yeah.
They're always talking about something. Does that sound dumb? They're always talking about like a topic or something. Like they're telling a story about like cannibals eating people, or they're talking about the boiler doesn't work, or they're talking about we have to move to the hotel. And I can't believe nobody's ever said that to me. If you just come up with a topic or a subject to talk about, and then the way that your characters react to those topics will show you what they feel like. I don't know why nobody tells us that.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a really juvenile thing to come up with, and it feels like I've come up with that quite late. But if somebody just bloody told me that, I would write better dialogue.
Yeah. Because
they need to be talking about something, otherwise they won't be talking.
What's the thing you would tell your younger self? We'll quick
How
fire.
old?
We'll quick fire some of these
How
now.
old?
Oh well, just as you were first starting out, because I started when I was 9.
When do you classify starting?
But let's just.
For you, when you saying you started 9, what do you mean? That's when you started liking films.
Making media. Like
okay,
I
when I started
making
making stuff, I was probably 14. I wouldn't tell myself anything. Because
no regrets.
No, because before, the only problem with this is the only problem with knowing how much you don't know is a lack of confidence.
Yeah.
Before, you know, when you're young and like older, that's what older reminded me of. Stuff I made when I was 14, 15, 16 or whatever. No, I don't mean it like that. Shut up, bro. I did not mean like that. I didn't mean like that, man. I'm talking about the spirit where you don't
I know.
You don't know what's wrong. So it's just all about like what's inside, like a real personal vulnerability, and you're just reaming with ideas and you're just going. I used to make way more stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All of this knowing that I don't know, it's very difficult.
Yeah.
Because your mind kind of wandering the same way.
Who's your favourite director?
Right now?
Yeah.
I'm in a weird place. All of my favourites I've realised that I think I'll have to say Kubrick. Either Kubrick or Bresson right now.
Let me think.
What are you going to think about? I might be able
Because
to
I mean, I
aid
love
you.
a Tarantino, but when I'm being honest, it's like it's more.
I don't like
it's
Tarantino.
the writing. That's what I've said. I mean, the writing's like because you know
I think-
how dialogue driven it is. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a big thing.
But it's not at the same time. His dialogue's Tarantino's actually a genius. Like, he's incredible. That's just not my favorite thing. But he is great. You can learn so much. But it's not dialogue driven. That's why it's so good. He knows how to use a camera to create, and he knows how to have characters doing something.
Mhm.
The dialogue is just this beautiful thing on top. That's why it stands out, because nobody else. Well, a lot of. Yeah.
I quite like Guy Ritchie.
Okay.
And I will say, do you know what it is? I love a bit of Mendes because when I think of all the ones that have come out,
Okay.
I love when
You like Shawn
he's
Mendes?
when he's what did you say, Shawn Mendes?
No, Sam Mendes.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I was like, the
I've been
masterpieces he's come out with.
stitches. That is a masterpiece, though.
Lyle Crocodile, bro. What a good.
Yeah.
how great was that?
Directed by Shawn Mendes.
But
Sam
no,
Mendes, yeah.
the same. It's. I think everything major that he's brought out in my time, I've really
You
enjoyed.
really
I
like that.
thought he's played the motive in the queue last year was pretty great. And yeah, again, like these two Bond ones in 1917, I just really
I like
enjoyed them.
1917.
I like his gravitas. That's what it is. I really like doing. When I make films, it's the two types of things. It's the entertainment thing I've talked about, and then this is when I lose my way because I go just full gravitas. Whereas I had an experimental quality about it where it was just so minimalist. It was deliberate. Like the lack of resources that it had, I was trying to keep it as on a low as physically possible. So it was quite experimental, very stripped back, but there was this genuine seriousness there, which is exactly the same thing as again, like what we're saying about I think even things like 1917 kind of half inspire what I did with Older, because again, 1917 in practice, it's very complicated, but it's so small.
You know what?
in scope.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. But you know what I like about the Sam Mendes stuff is all of the Roger Deakins collaborations.
No, of course.
I wouldn't say I love Sam Mendes for what he brings.
But no, yeah.
I love
Yeah, I've got a couple of favourites, but like you, it's kind of all over the place. We'll quick fire through the last few. So, okay, I would say, okay, so two things we'll do. Okay, if you had a dream project with unlimited resources, and then we'll also chuck the other part in this as well. We'll say if you could do a remake of any classic film. So a remake of a classic film,
bro.
and then a project with unlimited resources. What would it be?
With unlimited resources.
Well, but you know what I mean. Basically, doing a Hollywood film, and you had free reign. Franchise IP, you had free reign to do whatever you wanted. You could do one film. What would it be?
I don't know. I genuinely don't know.
You wouldn't know. Remake of a classic film? Do you know that one either?
I don't want to do that either.
No?
I don't want to remake anything.
With me,
Remakes scare me, man.
with remakes, what I would adapt, I would either do an Inspector Calls or a Christmas Carol.
Oh, like a classical story.
Well, not
I
just
was thinking of a classical film.
remake of a classic film, which they've both been done on screen before.
Mm.
I would adapt Inspector Calls or Christmas Carol because I really love those two. That's off the top of my head. I'd probably think of a better one. But
I would do a lot of Edgar Allan. I'll do some Edgar Allan Poe short stories.
No,
I'll do the Cask of Amontillado in the Telltale Heart.
Have you heard of The Raven before? His poem?
Yes.
Yeah, I did an entire feature film when I was a kid based off that.
About the Raven.
Yeah, because
That's really
we
cool.
did it in English.
That's
And
really,
I just
really
did like
cool.
a project, and I just did it. It was meant to be a short film, like 15 minutes long, and I ended up just spending an extra year on it, and I ended up coming out with like an hour-long film.
That's really cool.
But the thing is, it was just so shit because it was set in the modern day. It was set in the modern day, and he had a machine rifle taking out ravens who were flying in the woods, haunting them. So where he's haunting his dead wife, it basically became like that Universal, the modern horror films that I was saying, where basically there's like a swarm of ravens who attacked him in the woods. So like the climactic sequence as he walked out to jump around
That's
with
very
a
subtle, man.
with a machine gun at a park bench, and he was just shooting all of them down. Like
That's
as if,
very subtle.
but the thing is, I had no special effects at the time, so the birds are fucking PowerPoint.
Yeah.
So I was cutting to the
That's kind of cool, though.
So I was cutting to the PowerPoint images of the birds, and then me shooting them with a gun.
That's cool, though.
No, it wasn't.
Visual
It was shit.
storytelling.
You haven't seen it.
Yeah, but when you're a band, it doesn't really matter stuff like that.
It was 20.
I don't know. You have your
It was
story.
2018.
Oh my god. Okay, we're not talking about that anymore. But yeah, you have your stories that you'd want to remake. But I don't know if I'd ever want to remake a classical film, because the only films that I'd be interested in remaking have been done better. And it'd be an assumption that you could do it better or different. But I don't want. Why would I want to do it
And
different?
with me,
I don't know.
it goes without saying, honestly, I'd probably come up with a better idea if I spent an entire day thought about it, but it's
Mhm.
pretty much off the top of your head. Me, if
Mhm.
it's Avengers. There's no ifs or buts about it.
You'd redo the Avengers.
No, as in like the Unlimited Resources one.
Yeah, you do a thing like Avengers.
Like this one, I'm saying, like, look, do you know what I love? Because I've kind of thought about this, because everyone's saying that Marvel's in an absolute shitter of a state right now, right?
Mhm.
when I look at Secret Wars and what they're about to do,
Mhm.
and I can only imagine that despite what they're going to let on, the script's probably only half written, and it's now. It comes out in 2 years, and I guarantee the script's only half written at this point. With that one, which is basically, in practice, I know Endgame will probably be the biggest thing that ever happened to them, but like, in practice, it's the biggest story they've ever told. It's huge, because now you've got...
the Secret Wars.
So now you've got Tobey Maguire, you've got Hugh Jackman, you've got all these other characters now, as well as the Endgame level event, right? You've got everyone in Marvel history could be in this movie, anyone. It's their biggest event ever. The idea of me sitting in a writer's room and sifting through the shit they've made since 2021 and being like, look, yeah, these didn't work. But it's like what I'm doing now with like all the network's history. I'm like looking, I'm like, well, this didn't work, right?
So
How do we wrap up these stories? Do you know what I mean? Like a loose end, like it was like the whole Harry Styles thing in Eternals that was just dropped like a rock in 2021. How do we take that and like have them pop up in Secret Wars and basically have all of this be worth it? Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
It's almost
the impulse to want to do something.
It's almost like Act 1 and Act 2 of the story of like
Mhm.
in these Phase 4 and Phase 5 has set up the multiverse saga. How in 2 movies, in Doomsday and Secret Wars, can we bring down the hammer and save this entire saga?
Okay.
Make 2, like again, crowd pleasers.
Do you think you'd be able to do that? Seriously?
Secret Wars.
Do you seriously think you'll be able to do that?
Well, it's
and
just-
I'm not. That's not a.
It's with top trump
loaded
cards. It's like
question.
top trump cards with the Marvel characters on the wall when
So you just drop them in?
when they're planning out the story.
Mhm.
Like I think it's very doable. You just
Okay,
look at all the story
okay,
threads
alright.
from X amount of projects, and this is what I'm saying. Like crowd pleaser, giving people what they want.
Mhm.
I think right now in life I could do that. Needs
Oh, okay.
needs a different question. But what we've talked about since we started uni is
Yeah.
Marvel's not always about the need anymore.
It's really not.
It just really gives them what they want, and everyone goes away happy, and they make billions of dollars, which is fine. But you know what I mean? It's like it's fine. It doesn't need to be art. I
Okay.
think giving people what they want. I think I could do Secret Wars. I do.
Alright.
But I think a lot of people out there could, and that doesn't come.
You know what?
That doesn't come from a place of arrogance. Of thinking, oh, I'm a great. I could helm a Marvel project any day of the week. It's a case of, I love these characters.
Mhm.
I love this world,
Mhm.
and I it's my favorite compared to any of them. So I think I could do that.
I'd do. You know what? With unlimited budget, I'd do Secret Wars, and it'll be better than yours. Way. And then Matthew would be all over the film. I'm gonna cast him in a film. And
So have you got any closing thoughts about directing then? Before we're
Directing sucks. Don't do it ever. It's the worst thing you could possibly try to do. It's for narcissists, and it's horrible. Directing's the best. I don't know.
Job done. Job done. Let's get to the game. Right. Okay.
Oh my god.
Let's get to it.
Is it? What kind of director would you?
What kind of director would you be? Are you ready?
Is this like BuzzFeed?
Yeah.
Let's go. I love
Kind of.
BuzzFeed.
I think so. I don't know what you mean, but
Like a BuzzFeed quiz.
Right, okay. Grab a pen
Oh my
and paper,
God.
or just keep track mentally. Write down. Okay, okay. Answer honestly. Tally your results. Discover your directing style, and share your results. Okay.
What should we do? Are we just gonna track it mentally?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Cool. Here we go. How do you handle stress?
This is BuzzFeed.
Oh no, I can't do this.
Okay, this is. Can they say what's on the screen?
And no, not anymore. Not.
This says, how do you handle stress on set?
How do you handle stress on set?
To A, take deep breaths and problem solve with the team. B, turn stress into motivation. Every challenge is an opportunity, Matthew. Stress? What's stress? Oh, C, sorry. Stress? What's stress? I've got my plan. I'll stick to it.
I'd love to say.
Do you get quite stressed out? I think you do.
Who do you think I am? Of course. I'd say I've got my plan and stick to it. That one. Yeah.
Which one is that?
See.
C. Stress? What's stress? I don't know about that.
Yeah, and just have a spa day at the end of it. It's fine. It's all right.
I think I would B. I think I'll turn the stress into motivation.
I can't. It's when I'm doing this travel series. When I'm bringing Matthew May's show back in September. It's when you go into Keswick for a day's shoot and you don't get a second chance to do it.
I don't know.
You've got to stay on track till the end. You've got to, even though it's so low thinking content. You're just trying to get the best coverage you can. It is a stressful long haul day.
But this
You've
is
just got to get through it.
This is the thing. It's like you can say that you do all these things, clever things with the stress, but on the actual day, what's going to happen to you?
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
'Cause I was
Next
getting
one.
Quite stressed in a bad way on that thing. I'll say B though.
Your ideal script is a collaborative effort between you and the writer. Teamwork makes the dream work. 100% your vision, something bold and groundbreaking. A commercial hit with just the right balance of drama and laughs. Do you know what? I don't know, you know. The place in life I am right now, it could honestly be all three.
I'm going to say A. I love working. I like the communal working with other people. I don't think at this point I could like build the whole thing.
Yeah,
by myself. That'd be
dissertation. I'm gonna obviously very toe the line and do a good job, but like it's like I do like writing by myself. I do like doing that.
Okay.
I do. I'm open to criticism, of course.
I like writing by
but, like,
myself
yeah.
too, but I'm just dangerously aware at all times that I don't know
You also
what
take
I'm
5.
doing.
You also take 5 weeks to write 5 minutes, but need I digress.
Can't rush perfection, mate.
Oh, perfection.
seen
Is
Elijah?
that what it is? It was that what that script was.
That dialogue is powerful, bro.
Right. Okay. Cool. Moving on. Oh dear. I can't pick an answer for that. I just can't. I think it's just a mixture of all.
I think C is a bit of you.
Yeah. Moving
Commercial
on.
hit with just the right balance of drama and laughs.
Cool. Right then. Moving it along. A crew member suggests a change to a key scene. You hear them out. You believe great ideas can come from anywhere. I'm already going to say A.
Mm-hmm.
Stick to your guns. Where's the pros and cons? Oh, maybe C.
I'm definitely gonna. I mean, also it depends. Yeah, you're definitely gonna weigh the pros and cons. Would you be? I don't know. Would I be offended if somebody? It depends who.
It's the decision.
Depends what role
process.
that they're in.
It's the
Depends.
decision-making process.
Depends what role the person is in that says that.
Do you know what I often do, which really pisses people off when it comes to creative decision-making, is I say, right, oh, can I get your advice on something, and I don't listen to it at all.
Mm.
But what I'm saying is, I'm taking in advice.
Mm.
It's a case of, is there anything? I'm like this massive icy wall right now. I've made a decision. It's pretty much sticking.
Mm.
Is any dart that can get fired at this wall strong enough to break the ice, or not? So I can ask all my friends for advice if any of them's going to change my mind, and if it doesn't, it feels like, oh well, that was fucking useless. Why'd you ask for my opinion?
Mine is kind of
But
like I've got to question everything all the time, which kind of makes you feel like you're doubting yourself.
Yeah.
But to me, it's not. It reinforces it because if I keep questioning it and I'm getting the same answers, it's like, yes, I know that works. So. But which crew? I don't know. Well, yeah, best idea wins. If somebody says something that is just true and it's going to work better than what you do, and you have to do it.
Yeah.
But it's weigh the pros and cons before deciding. It is all about the bigger picture.
Cool. Right then, number 4. What's your directing vibe on set? Approachable and open, everyone feels like part of the magic. Intense and passionate, you're deeply focused on your art. Chill but efficient, you make sure things run smoothly without too much drama.
You have to answer this for me because I don't know, do I? How am I supposed to answer this about myself?
I would.
What do you
say,
think I was like on those?
I
awful
would
days?
right. I would say it's a blend because I would say you're approachable and you're very chill. What?
We're both B. We're being told there, but we're both B.
Oh,
by
we're
the
both
producer.
B. No, you're chill. No. I would say you're passionate as an overthinker. Offset, when you're doing all the storyboard and everything. On set, you're chill as anything.
Yeah, because
We're packing up and you sat there laughing at the corner with Oreos.
If you've done the work right, which we didn't do the work right, it should just be about capturing the data.
I think it depends on the content, because I'll be honest, I think when I'm doing TV, like this whole travel series, I think I'm chill but efficient. I'm very efficient. I'm like, let's get this shit done. But I'm actually quite chill because I'm trying to enjoy myself as a host. When I'm doing fiction, I think I'm intense and passionate. I do. Yeah. Cool.
Okay.
Which director do you admire? Oh, right, okay. Which... oh.
This is a questionable list. I'm already about.
Which director do you admire most? Greta Gerwig or Ron Howard? I have no idea who Ron Howard is, but
He did Apollo 13.
But I'm already going with him. Because
You're already going with Ron?
because
it says collaborative and people focused. That's what they think Greta Gerwig and Ron Howard are like. Okay.
that I'd say I was saying versus who. I was just like, no, because I was quite upset with Greta over recent events. I'm not gonna not going to mention why. So
we don't know what that means. That's a very controversial
we'll
thing to
move
say.
on. Did she write it? Because that's everything.
Who, Barbie?
Yeah.
Yeah, her and Noah Baumbach wrote it.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I don't change my mind. No, I'm still upset. Yeah.
B.
It's fine.
Stanley Kubrick or Quentin Tarantino, perfectionist and artistic visionaries.
Spielberg and Cameron.
Romantic. Yes, and then C is Steven Spielberg or James Cameron, masters of storytelling, spectacle. Boy, how the hell are they gonna?
Do you know what? I would have said B a couple of years ago. Now I'm saying C. I like just the grandiose of just telling
But
big
B,
stories.
Stanley Kubrick is C though. Stanley Kubrick is master. Why is James Cameron is not a master of storytelling?
I think the better
Get him out of
The
there.
better caption possibly would have been, like big movies. Because when you think of like Avatar and Jurassic Park, they're like proper big crowd places essentially. The big massive Hollywood movies.
Yeah, I think it's trying to say. This is. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, like masters of something else would have like spectacle. This is what I'm saying. You know, like the big movies, the movie making. See, I think C. I go with C.
I mean, if we're just talking about the names, probably B. I'd go with Kubrick and Tarantino.
Yeah.
Whose films of these would you like to watch the most? In terms of the groups, would you rather watch?
Do you know,
Greta
probably
Gerwig
Tarantino. Honestly.
You'd watch a Tarantino and Kubrick marathon.
Yeah.
Me too. I would as well.
Cool.
Poor Ron Howard getting no love there.
What's your take on improvisation? Fuck that.
I hate improvisation. But I'm such a... That's bad, though. I don't know. It depends what you mean by improvise.
Here's what I'll say. If the actor has a way they want to perform the line, that I'm fine with.
Yeah, if they say, should we do it like this?
Let's try it that
and
way.
then I go, yeah,
I'm
let's
fine.
try.
I'm absolutely fine. We'll at least try it. That's what I'm saying about breaking the ice. If it's not big enough to break it, it's like, oh no, we gave them a couple takes. They felt validated, and the cutter gets cut out. Like, but it's that's what I'm saying. Like, if they can break through the ice when I'm in the edit and saying, okay, the one that they want to experiment
It's
with,
way
I like
better.
more.
Yeah,
I'll keep
yeah.
it. But
Yeah. You can't be too set in your ways. But then the question is, if an actor starts to improvise, what do they think is the best thing for the film? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It might not be the best thing for the film.
Right. Okay. On to 7.
Wait, we didn't even answer it, bro.
We
Did we?
basically did.
Okay.
Yeah. Your dream project is a heartfelt indie film that makes people cry and laugh. Oh, I know this is going to be a hard one. A thought-provoking masterpiece that wins all the awards. Do you know what? No,
I don't care about
fuck
awards.
B. I don't care. I don't care anymore.
I wouldn't want to make a
A
masterpiece.
blockbuster hit that smashes box office records.
Oh.
A heartfelt indie.
But what
That
does
makes people cry and
What
laugh.
does this mean, though?
But it's not a crowd pleaser like C is.
So, I don't even understand these questions.
Maybe C, you
This
know.
is so random.
Maybe C. Because if you're asking me, would I rather make We Live in Time or Deadpool and Wolverine? That's kind of what question you're asking here. That's what you're asking, though. It's basically asking is...
Okay, give me...
Would I rather make We
do
Live
like
in Time
that.
or Deadpool?
What's B, then? If A is We Live in Time, B is... What's B? And then C is Deadpool vs. Wolverine. What's B?
B's Megalopolis if everyone liked it.
I'd rather make Megalopolis if everybody liked it than any of these fucking films.
I'd. Do you know what? It might be. Honestly, the way I'm
going with
I'm
B.
trying to be more humble by the year. It might be We Live in Time. It might be.
So you want to say A?
I might be at the box office. Yeah, I might just make Searchlight pictures. Honestly. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna make a
Do you know what I mean?
thought-provoking masterpiece.
Searchlight. I'd just spend
Yeah,
my
I know
entire career with
Searchlight.
Searchlight pictures, the whole thing. A24.
I'd
rather do that.
I really like A24.
I think A24 was the best thing.
Oh
ever.
shit! We definitely didn't take track of
The
this.
results mostly is. I'd say the producer.
We did not take track of what we said.
Do you know what I think? All I will say that there's the collaborator, the visionary, and the producer's best friend. The category, so I would just say I'm the producer's best friend. Right. off the bat.
Ew, the producer's best friend. That's so sad.
I'm very efficient. Very efficient.
That's very sad, though. The exec's love. That's really sad. I would want to be. It's very narcissistic to say you're a visionary, and I don't think I am at all. Because I don't know. Maybe I guess you'd have to say B. Am I collaborative? Am I collaborative or am I?
No, you're very independent. Because I tried to help you with that script for Elijah, and you wanted no part of it.
And it was better off for it. Okay, I'm B. Apparently, I'm the.
Do you know what?
visionary.
Do you know what? That's fine. You directed a Minecraft script. This is probably why you think they're writing shit. Because all they didn't have a script, and Minecraft was pretty trash. The script, so you know what? Fine, fair. Finn. Brilliant. Right, that's the game. Have you enjoyed it today then?
That was fun, Matthew. That was really fun.
You've enjoyed it today?
Yeah, it was fun.
Good.
That was
No,
cool.
brilliant.
That's a good talk.
We're still learning, but we will get there in the end.
I think
We'll
this
get
was
there in
cool,
the end.
man. I didn't feel like I was getting interrupted by the setup at all, and I'm happy that you put us on the screen. That made
No,
me
brilliant.
less.
No, that's
I
good,
don't know
that's
why.
great,
That
'cause
makes me
you
feel
can
less
see it.
awkward.
Okay.
That's good.
Right. Well, thank you very much, Alex.
Thank you, Matthew.
Brilliant. It's been nice chatting with you today. And no, that will just about do it for episode 4 of the BWN podcast. So that is it. We've kind of announced from a young person's perspective what it means to be a director in terms of our perspective, at least, and what we hope directing will essentially blossom into, well, the roles that will blossom into, hopefully, as the years go on. But no, that just about wraps it up for today. We will see you for the first episode of February next week. But until next time on the BWN podcast, see ya. Goodbye.